Hello guys, welcome to CodeRuck. Hope you are doing great. Today we will learn React hook, that is useEffect hook. So let's get started. As we know, React provide various type of hooks and we can use those hooks in our functional component in any React application and work around. Now in this video we are going to discuss and learn different use cases of useEffect hook. Now the first thing is why we need useEffect hook. The first part is useEffect hook allow you to perform side effect, that is side effect in functional component. Okay, and the second thing is what is side effect. Basically, example of side effect is like we want to call an API and we want to get an data. So that means calling an API, calling API and getting data from it. Now third thing is we want to update our DOM. So at that time also we will make use of useEffect hook, update DOM. And the fourth one is, or the last one, which is least we use in our application, which is setting up of timers. But if I talk about the main use case of using side effect is, or you can say useEffect is calling an API and getting a data. As we know, React is a client side or front-end library in which we have to call an API to get the data, and in that case we will use useEffect to call an API, get the data and render in our application. After that we want to perform any kind of update in our DOM. In that case also, or in that scenario also, we will make use of useEffect hook. Now if I talk about the syntax part, then we define useEffect and this will be our function. Okay, or we can say arrow function we will define, and here is our some dependency we define. So this is the syntax which we will use to make a call or use any useEffect hook. Okay, now there are three different ways by which we can define our useEffect hook. So three ways to define useEffect hooks. First one is, or we can say, when this one is function, like we will define arrow function, and this is dependency. In the first one, no dependency passed. Okay, so when we don't want to pass any different dependency, because this one is optional, either you can pass or you don't. In the first type we are not passing any dependency. Now in that case the syntax will be, this will be your syntax. Now whatever method, or because first one is function we have defined, arrow function, and we are not passing dependency here. Now in this case whatever scenario we will perform in this method or in this useEffect, when we are not passing any dependency, that function will get executed every time whenever any render is taking place in our functional component. So that means whatever function, whatever scenario we will define, it get executed on every render of our functional component. So that means run on every render. Now second type is when we are passing an empty array as a dependency. So it will be an empty array as a dependency. So I'm just using that one. And in case of dependency, we are passing an empty array. So what does this scenario means? In this scenario, only first time when our functional component is getting rendered, only in that case, that means first time this method, whatever we define inside this one, it get executed. That means runs only on first render. Don't worry about that one. We will see in a detailed or live how we can implement that one. Okay, so this one is empty array. We are passing as a dependency. In that case, it will get executed only first time when any render taking place in our functional component. And the third type is when an dependency is getting updated. So that means we can say when we are passing dependency, we can say dependency passed. When we passed or pass any dependency, in that case there will be syntax like, suppose we are passing an dependency here. So that dependency we are going to pass as an array, and inside array we are going to pass dependency. So there can be multiple dependency. So that means that one, it can be dependency 1 and it can be dependency 2. So you can have multiple dependency. So there is no restriction on that one. But in this case, the method or functionality which we define inside this useEffect arrow function, it will get only executed if our dependency get changed. Suppose first time when our component get rendered, suppose dependency we have, suppose 1, okay, or we can say true. Now some mutation take place or some updation take place and your dependency 1 become false. In that case, the method or functionality which we have defined inside this useEffect will get executed. So that means runs only basically runs anytime any dependency value change. Okay, so these are the three types by which we can make use of useEffect hook, and they are all going to be needed in case of any React application you are going to build. So you have to make use of all these, and this is a very important interview question as well, because they ask how many types you can define your useEffect hook. Now we will see one by one in a live example how you can make use of that one. Okay, so at first, to make use of that one, what we will do, we have to import useEffect hook. Import useEffect hook. Okay, now at first time we will define useEffect when no dependency is passed. Okay, definitely we have to define here useEffect, and if we do the console.log, run on every render. Now if we save that one and if we open the console, you see you are getting run on every render, but we are not updating, or there is no updation take place in this functional component, so it is not getting executed each and every time. So how we can make use of that one? We will make use of use state hook so that we can see is there really any updation taking place. So we will define count, and this will be set count, and it will be use state. I already have created one video on use state hook, so you can make use or you can go with that one, and you can see how functionality work around that one. So this one is default or initial value we have passed. Now in case of use state, we will write count, and here it will be the variable which we have defined in this constant. Now if we take output of this one, you will get 0, but still we are not able to see on every render. So how we can make use of that one? Basically for that one we have to update our state, and as we know, whenever we are updating any state, basically our component is getting re-rendered again and again. Every time we are updating the state, our component will get re-rendered. In that case we will see whether our use effect is getting called again and again. So I'm defining one button. I will take div, and inside this div will define button, and that button I will define on click functionality. So it will be set count. Now there's nothing in the console. Now if I click, see, run on every render is getting called. If I click on again, now it is getting called again. So every time I'm clicking on that one, it is getting called again and again. So this is what we have seen in case of when we don't pass any dependency. In that case it will get executed on every render that we are taking place. Now the second one is an empty array is passed. Now it is getting called only first render. Now for that one, if we pass an empty array, now we just save that one, we will refresh. Okay, now there's nothing in the console. If I click first time, you will not see any data. What does that mean? Basically when first time any render is taking place, only at that time it is getting called. So run on, if I click run on first render, if I save this one, you can see run on first render, it is getting called, not again and again. If even if I click that one, it will not get called again and again on any render we are taking place. So this is the second type which we have seen, that is it is getting called on the first time. Now the third type is when we pass any dependency. Now in case of dependency, what we do, we will take count as a dependency. That means initially the count will be 0, okay, and when we click that one, our count will be 1. That means our dependency is getting updated, and as we know, whenever dependency value gets changed, use effect functionality will get called. Okay, now we will see console and run on update. So here we will make use of ES6 syntax. So it will be run on update, and it will be count. Okay, now if we refresh our page, first time initial value of our use state will be, or count value is 0. Now second time if I clicking on that one, you can see run on update 1. That means our use effect is getting called again and again because our dependency is getting update. Every time we click that one, it will get called because our dependency is getting updated and again. So in this way we have make use of 3 type of use effect in our application. Now this is how you can define use effect hook in your application and you can work around. In the next tutorial we will see how you can call an API using use effect hook. So that's all in this video. I hope you like this video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Thank you all.